Once upon a time, there was an organic protein jar that lived on a high shelf that needed a handle. So I made a wooden handle out of some duct tape and rubber bands and put it on there, and it worked pretty well until I got a 3D printer and figured out I can design my own better handle with PLA Plus using OpenSCAD. So I tried to minimize the amount of plastic and wrote some code to subtract geometry and wrote different modules to use cones and spheres and discs and boxes and put together basic shapes. And when I started 3D printing it, I realized that it was about a 10-hour job without supports because there's many horizontal pieces that need support. When I added support, the job became a 23-hour and 44-minute job. So most of the plastic was in the support because there was 10 hours of printing without support and 12 hours printing with support. There's a flashlight inside there so you can see what it looks like. And this ran for all day and all night from Monday night 8:30 p.m. or so to Tuesday night 8:30 p.m. and I'd get up at wee hours in the morning and check on it and think about it and see how my little baby's doing, and it was doing excellent. I really expected some bad plastic, but once it was done, I was ready to pop it off the bed. Came off very easily after it cooled down for a few minutes, and then it was time to rip out all the support plastic and throw away the majority of the plastic. That was a lot harder than I first thought because ripping this plastic out, first of all, I thought I made the plastic very thin and far and few in between there, so I needed supports for those rings that went around there. But there was more plastic ripping than I expected, and it took a lot longer than I thought. And it was kind of like peeling a sticker off a window. Some of it comes off in nice strips and really unfolds. I'm glad I had a big hole in the top and a big hole in the bottom to get my hands inside there and keep on peeling and grabbing and twisting and puncturing it. But it was not as easy as I thought. So I spent about 45 to 50 minutes uh, getting the majority off, and probably the last 15 minutes pulling off the little detailed stuff. So as you can see, this is sped up because it was just a mundane task that the plastic's kind of sharp. You can cut your knuckles on it like I did. And wire cutters don't work as good. The handle came off nice, as you can see. There's support in between the handle. So if I had to do it again, I'd learn how to glue and snap together pieces and not print anything with support. Just print the base and the handle separately, the vertical supports separately, the rings separately, and make sure that they can snap in. So the handle looks rather nice now once the plastic is gone from that. But it's still a matter of puncturing and being careful where you can puncture so you don't damage the vertical supports, and just keep ripping off sections. It was a little bit bigger than the bed. It said that because some of the support plastics on the lower bed part were outside the print area, but I expected it to pause at wee hours in the morning and I'd have to click OK, but it ran straight through, start to finish. No issues. I was worried that I'd see a ball of spaghetti plastic everywhere, but I didn't have any problems like that. So yeah, it's the less support you use, the better off you are. The other thing my lesson learned is those vertical posts are cubes, and I did not rotate them as I moved them around the diameter of the lower base. So they're all like square facing north, south, east, west. They're all in the same orientation. So as they go around the circle, you can kind of see the diagonals popping out from the base, and some of them are square to the base as they, you know, go from 0 to 90 degrees. And probably should have used no cubes and all cylinders, all round objects. It would have been a lot easier. I don't know if it would have been easier. It would have looked better. The base, I subtracted out a cone just to give it that beveled bottom look. As you can see on the bottom, there's a cone subtraction. I kind of moved the mouse over around the open SCAD geometry, and that's just for looks. And then the rings were not centered to the text of the bottle or anything like that. I just made these horizontal rings at different places. I was going to make this 6 inches tall, and I ended up making it, I think, 5.75, and that was long enough. But as you see, there's a lot of open hollow space in there, so only the base, that's like about 1 inch. I think that would take about 2 hours to print without the handle, just that 1 inch tall base. And then the top section would probably take another half hour or so, and then you throw in the rings and the posts and the handle, maybe an hour. So we could have printed that whole thing in 3 hours. Then I finally took a file to it and filed out the stuff and put the can inside, or the jar, and it looks really good, and it's very functional, and I'm very pleased with the printer. So that was my longest project.